Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, organics of all ages, I'm Double R, and today's topic is a roleplay writer. Before I go into actual names, because I know once I say the name, people are going to get triggered, they're going to lose their mind, they're going to lose their marbles, their rational thinking is going to go out the window, we're going to have taboo insanity activated out of nowhere, and then we're going to have sympathy's law come marching in with pitchforks and start stabbing me in the butt, and I'm not going to be appreciative of that because it hurts. I'm not a fan of that. This is not Women's Day, and I don't need to be reminded that I might be Deadpool in one way, shape, or form, in some life form. I don't want to think about any of that. I want to get right to the point of this discussion. Wow, that went from 0 to 100 real quick for no reason. Moving along! While dealing with said writer, I had 4 particular arguments pop up. One's in DM, we'll deal with that later. Argument number 3 was because I put a statement out there going, hey, I don't care what the player does if it's in character. I don't give a crap. Character actions don't mean player consent. Hands down, bar none. A writer does not condone the actions of the character 100% of the time. Ergo, character action, I don't give a shit. Couldn't care less. Argument 3 was, you're an idiot. How's this helping anybody? Argument 2. You don't know any better. I know people who are child abuse survivors, or CSA. Child sexual abuse, whatever. Child abuse. They were children, they got abused, but they're survivors. They know these people. They know a few. And they know one for certain. So to prove their point, to prove they're correct, they're going to put their ad in this thing and drag them into the argument on something that could very well be triggering them. That's second argument. I pretty much put that argument on hold, bar none, hands down. I was like, nah, we're done here. The stuff that you're accusing that writer of, you just did. The very exact stuff that you're accusing that other writer of doing. You just did it. You just did it. This person wasn't complicit to the idea. This person wasn't ready for that. But you decided this is a triggering thing, so they need to go ahead and deal with the triggering themselves. Oh no, I'm terrified of snakes. You're the person that goes, go to the snake pit. Why are you scared? It's only a snake pit. What are you doing? You accuse somebody of forcing people into situations that they are not comfortable with. And you, knowing full well what the topic is, and knowing full well that this topic could very well trigger the person that you're bringing in, you pulled them in anyway. And then after a couple posts, after I called you out and after you thought about it for a minute, you went, oh, I should ask for, hey, it's okay that I do this? That person didn't exactly answer you too eagerly, did they? They seemed a little nervous about it. Because now they're in it. They're in the thick of it. They're in the center of the snake pit going, and you knew you screwed up because you made a whole different post to avoid putting them back in it. Well, they don't need to be put up with this stupidity. No, it's because I called your ass out on it, and probably other people called your ass out on it, going, what are you doing? So yeah, you try to go back around, and I was like, nah, we're not even having this discussion. You've already proven that you're just like the other guy. I don't deal with hypocrites on that level. Sorry. I could do it, but he's not allowed to. No. I'm not even putting up with that. So, argument 2, dead in the water. Just like argument 3, which is dead in the water. So that's 2 arguments outright dead. Or as it's usually said on certain things. Moving on. Argument number 1. Pretty much this. Oh, and did you know they're authoritarian as well? Which means you're not even permitted to roleplay a taboo. You're not permitted to roleplay that. At all. Period. Hands down. 100%. You're not allowed. Because they don't approve of it. You know, this here. Yeah. That's them in a nutshell. But while we're in this discussion and while we're in this topic, this person decided to go, hey, there's evidence, don't you know? There's evidence. Great! Evidence! Thank you! That's the only thing I've been asking for this entire damn time, arguing with all of y'all. Evidence. That's all I wanted, was some evidence. Because you're going to call this guy a pedo, you're going to call him a rapist. I need evidence before I can say, yeah, he is, or no, he's not. I need evidence before I can step in and even throw those accusations out there. I need evidence. Because I don't like calling people things without it. So, what's this evidence that y'all may think that they brought up? Well, this person brought up a link and went to an entire list of people complaining. It was a roleplay call out from pretty much a gimmick account for role players, where it said trigger warning, pedophilia, rape. They brought up 3 of the person's profiles, 3 of the writer's profiles. So what's the context of the pedophilia and the rape? What's the context? None! I don't know if it's in character or out of character. I couldn't tell you. No, seriously, I couldn't tell you. I mean, according to these people, I gotta blame this guy because he played the rebooted version of Freddy Krueger, which happened to be very more into the whole pedo thing.
Oh, you can't wake up. I had to keep you awake long enough. So when you finally slept, you'd never wake up again.
Wake up, Nancy! Wake up!
We're gonna be in here a long time.
Nancy, please!
You really think your boyfriend could wake you up?
Please don't do this! Please!
I'm your boyfriend now.
Nancy, come back! Please wake up! You promised!
So I gotta assume, by their logic, that the screenwriter, the director, the creator of all this, and that particular actor are all pedos. I have to assume this, because that's the logic they're using. I have to, if I follow their logic. I gotta assume George R.R. Martin is a rapist because of the whole Game of Thrones thing. By their logic, that's where I'm at. I gotta say Leonardo DiCaprio, by their logic, is a racist. Why? That. By their logic, that's where I'm at. Not how I operate. Not how I work. Not how I do things. Sorry. But, since this is the alleged evidence presented to me, let's go through these points of evidential flow and see if maybe he is. Not maybe in character, out of character, I don't know. But let's find out. There were about 170 things. Quote retweets, comments, whatever. 170. I want the number up there. I'm going to tell you this. Going through all of it, well, all of it at the time anyway, all of it, I spent a day. I had a day going through this entire thing because I'm looking for evidence! You want to know what I found from 170 comments, retweets, whatever? You want to know what I found? Even if you don't, the reason why you're here is you're going to find out. Let's begin. 109. 109. Out of 170. 109. 109. You want to know what this 109 was? A reaction to the accusation. Get help. Die in a fire. Get chemically castrated. You're disgusting. Things of that nature. This is in terms of making memes of it. This is in terms of them just saying disgusting, what's wrong with you. You get the idea. That whole conglomerate of reacting to the accusation. 109. No evidence, just a reaction to the accusation. That's it. 109. Right there. So, out of 170, 109 was reaction to accusation. There's percentage. Now out of that 109, 12 of it was pretty much from the quote retweets, while the rest of it was a reply. Somebody put a reply somewhere about it. That's it. Cool. 3 people were concerned about the pedophilic nature. They didn't say it was in character, they didn't state it was out of character, they didn't state it was in the DMs. Just the pedophilic nature. I was going to add that to the reactions of the accusation, but they're being very specific. So I made sure to leave it out as a very specific point. Again, don't know if it's in character or out of character. They're just stating something about pedophilic nature. 6 of these comments are pretty much alerting other people, alerting the mutuals. Some did it kindly, politely, gave a little buffer room. You know. I know some of y'all have trigger warnings, and some of y'all are very triggered on certain items. We're just letting you know that this person is accused of said having triggers. So, just letting you know ahead of time, so if you follow them and you get freaked out, that's on you. Just heads up. And some were a little bit more aggressive. You follow this person, unfollow me right now, because I'm coming after you right. And I'm going to report you. I'm going to have your issue. I'm going to better not be following this guy. So help me, I'm going after you too. Yeah, 2 extremes, but they both pretty much were saying the same thing to the mutuals. This person's accused of such things. I don't want to deal with it, but hey, if you want to, you do you. Three other comments happen to be the whole, yeah, that, where they dealt with the person before. Alright, so those 3 should be easily able to put up evidence, right? Or do they just not like the person in general? Because we all know, 100%, hands down, bar none, that the mob is always correct, right? The mob is always 100% correct. I mean, besides the Salem witch trials, besides what happened in Germany, besides some other places that we will not name, but the mob is always correct. Right? Right? With all this said and done, and as you saw, the little numbers kept popping up about percentages and whatnot, you probably noticed there's about 12 missing. You want to know what this last 12 is? Do you really want to know? I'm going to tell you. This last 12 is you're playing the character wrong. Your setup is incorrect. Or you're copying something from my setup. That's it. Those are the 12. That was the complaint. You're copying me. You stole my header. You stole my Abby. You stole my pin. You stole my bio. You're not role-playing the character properly. That's not the way the character is supposed to act. Yada yada, blah blah blah. Because you know there's no such thing as a multiverse or an alternate universe or a parallel universe. There's none of that going on. There's no such thing as a superior Spider-Man. So there's no such thing as a multiverse or an alternate universe or timeline parallel bullshit. No. None of that exists. You play the character the way I tell you to play it, or else. And that was 12 of them. 12 people who don't know the difference between alternate universe, parallel universe, multiverse, or anything of that nature. 12 people who are upset because there's only so many ways you can do a profile, apparently. 12 people were upset that the same character was used that they're role-playing. 12 people were upset because the character being portrayed was not exactly the way they thought it could be or should be portrayed. You know, character translation. Yeah, those 12 are part of the evidence. Yep, that explains them being a pedo, explains them being a rapist. Sure does. Now, you may have noticed I just filled up the 170. Notice what's not in there? Actual evidence. Now hold on. Some of you may be thinking, wait a minute, you said there was 4 arguments and you disregarded one right off the bat. This is true. Let's do a Jen Psaki thing and circle back to it. But unlike her, we're actually going to circle back to it. Argument number 4 was a DM. A friend of mine brought it up. Pretty much said, hey, I know somebody who dealt with it. The reason why they don't have evidence is because it's a different character. So it's kind of hard to put the finger saying, hey, same guy, same writer. It's kind of hard to put the same finger, you know? Fair. Unfortunately, this comes off as a he said, she said thing. But at least they have a reason on why they don't have evidence. That holds a little bit of water to me. It gives a little bit. Because that's even them saying, I can't confirm 100% that's the same writer, but everything is lining up to appear to be the same writer. How many coincidences do you need before it makes sense? How many points do you need before you form a line? How many grains of sand do you need before you have a heat? Things of that nature. So I took that with a little bit more weight. And the reason why I say I took that a little bit more with weight, because they stated, hey, I do have evidence, but it's not one of their current characters. What are you going to do with that? Because they can easily just go, that was never my character. The accusation was on 3 specific accounts. So if they don't have anything on those 3 accounts, even they understood it's not going to hold too much water. And you know what? That's fair. That's fair. I'm still not going to call the person a pedo, and I'm still not going to call him a rapist, because no one gave me actual evidence. And the closest thing to evidence was the fact that it was a character that they had when they were dealt with before. Again, it fits the line. Like I said earlier, 3 of them said, we've dealt with you before. So I can presume that this was one of the people that was dealing with them before. And that's under presumption. Now, this is under the natural assumption that the 170 comments, the 170 of them, are different people. Notice how I'm saying this. This is me under the presumption that the 170 comments were from 170 different writers. Why am I saying it this very specific way? Because they each used a different account. I negated anything that was a repeat from an account. I negated those. Those comments were gone. I negated my comment, because that's not part of the numbers. I negated the defendant's comment. That's not part of the numbers. I'm looking for evidence there. But let's be fair. The defendant's comment was pretty much stating, can't be a pedo, can't be a rapist. It was done in character, and they asked for permission out of character. Now, did he bring up any DMs to prove this point? No. Did he bring up any evidence to prove this point? No. So again, he said, she said. That's kind of stuff I'm dealing with right now. Keep that in mind. Now, the reason why I was bringing up the fact that I'm counting the 170 as 170 different writers, 170 different people, because the call-out account is probably one of the people, by default. They made the accusation, they're probably one of those people. So this means that that person, by default, has at least 2 accounts. I can tell you this. I have about 9 roleplay accounts, and then my actual account. The writer account, if you will. I have 9. I have seen several people point out they have over 20. Most cliques are between 3 to 15 people. I've run into a clique that has about 20. Now let's take the best case scenario. Let's say there's a clique of 10, and they each have 10 roleplay accounts. That's 100 comments. 100 out of 170. That's if 10 of them have 10. 10 by 10. Or if it's 5 by 20, you get the idea. If it's a clique of 5 people, but they all have 20 accounts, you get what I'm getting at, right? I'm emphasizing this because, like I said, when I'm going through the evidence, I went through as 170 different writers because of different accounts. It could have been a clique. It could have just as easily been a clique, just going, I don't like this guy, dogpile him. And then enough dogpile from the clique, people who want to get into the clique saw it and went, yep, I'm going to jump in too. I mean, after all, 109 out of 170 was just reaction to the accusation. Where's the actual evidence? No one had any. So I can't call him a rapist, and I can't call him a pedo. The closest thing that was shown for evidence was someone realizing, hey, it was a character from the last time he got ousted. That was it. Yeah, I know. Working on actual facts. What the hell? But, same token, if it is 170 different people, that's a lot of people that know about you. Allegedly. That's a lot of people that believe this. And the fact that you bowed out tells me that they might be right. Now, granted, you might have just bowed out because you didn't want to put up with a headache. Fair. And that's very understandable. It takes up a lot of your roleplay time. You're always dealing with accusations and bullcrap like that. Even though a lot of people chose to follow you on their own accord. Well, short of the people who got threatened, but you know. So I get it. But at the same time, you still bowed out. It doesn't look good. Kind of the whole Michael Jackson thing when he paid the kids whatever off, when he paid the kid off and just went back. Understandable why he did it. Made perfect sense. Dude was busy with a freaking tour, had a momentary break, got to do very little relaxing, was told about lawsuits, said fine, whatever, I'm agreeing with legal with my legal party. They say pay him, fine, I'll pay him and make it back the next day, no problem. And you saw how well people interpreted that, didn't you? So the fact that you bowed out twice, technically, yeah, it's not holding well. Now I get it, you just don't want to be hassled and harassed. I get it, I do, I understand it. But at the same time, it's not looking good. So keep that in mind. but that would just be circumstantial evidence at best. Now that I've said all that, I hope you all get my point. I'm Double R. I'm out. Y'all have a good day. And, well, later. Bye-bye. Bye. What are you still doing here? Show's over. Come on. You got... Okay, fine. I'll close it myself.